And that is what he battles with. And that is what most of the frustrations in his body as he communicates his message. He knows that he is running out of time. Beautiful souls that couldn't quite shake off the urgency that was running through this reading. That this person is running out of time. Dr. Steven Greer, someone that many of you have been requesting, someone who is actually unknown to me. But as soon as I entered his field, you're going to see I'm just hit with this enormous body of energy that is just full, just communicating information. I couldn't help but to feel for this gentleman. There were waves of empathy, sympathy, and that stayed with me for quite some time, even after the reading, and you might even be able to feel it in this introduction that I'm doing. I just admire his courage, or at least that current of energy that was running through his field. It takes a lot to speak what you know to be true, despite being mocked or hated or made fun of, etc. That's certainly what I got. A very difficult time for this person, and it was clear that it had taken a toll physically, mentally, emotionally on these bodies. But he continues. Okay, so let's just see what we've got here. It's quite a big life force just coming through the body now. Wow. And it knows, this kind of life force knows more than your average human being. This is a body of information. This is a body of information. Ancient. Gosh. Yeah. His system is very old. It's very old. And what I get shown through that vibration, two things. There is a hurting of the heart, which I'm going to come back to, but there's so much information coming from this gentleman, my goodness. And there's also an enormous body of water around him, that which he is connected to. Thank you so much. It tells me that he is in touch with some kind of civilization. Some kind of civilization that runs so deep. And it's even before times as we know it. It's before times as we know it. The hurting of the heart is the hurting of his heart. He's incarnated into this body to come back to share his body of information. He's managed to not only collect and accumulate the knowledge, but he's been able to recall. This gentleman is a recollection. And those of you that requested this gentleman, share with me in the comments, because you most likely know more about him than I do. So then as he recalls this information and he's been able to bring that through into this incarnation, then this gigantic body of knowledge it wants people to know there's a sharing of pain that can't be hidden. It's like when there's been an injustice that has either happened to you, your family, someone dear to you. And even for many of us, even if we see an injustice in society, we want to be a voice. We want to either fight back or at least offer our energy to support what we know is true or the right thing morally to do. Now, whatever has happened with this gentleman before times, he's coming back to be that very lighthouse. And it's almost to rectify and to now be a voice to share so much that is hidden. Despite all of the information that he carries, his body is very pained by all of this. There's a lot of memory data this gentleman is holding that actually can cause the body to, as I mentioned, it can hurt greatly. So on one hand, you are the body of information, you are the body of memory data. And that means that you can share. You can share that which you hold that doesn't come from a textbook. This is raw information. But because there is so much of it, it means that, well, not all memories are of light and joy. There is much suffering that has taken place. His vessel is holding all of that. I'm going to go to the next clip just to see if it continues in the same energy. So there are many areas of his body as we come into the second clip now. It does carry from that first clip there, and much of what is being carried and that is being communicated is of a frustration. He wants to communicate what he holds, not only freely, but he wants to communicate it so it reaches parts of our own memory data, that which many of us have forgotten. He believes somewhere here there is a great deception at play. And there is something that he does, that he shares, that seems far-fetched. It can actually make people, it can make people question the validity of what he shares. And that is what he battles with. And that is what most of the frustrations in his body as he communicates his message, that's where it comes from. He knows that he is running out of time. And his service here is one that is not to do with ideas. It is actually about what is out there. What is out there? What is out there? What is out there? Let me just see if I can get a little bit more information about what that means. What is out there? What is alien? What is alien? What is unfamiliar to us? And I'm getting again, too unfamiliar. When something is too unfamiliar, it can disturb and disrupt the listener, that who is receiving the information. And I've shared this in other readings. When something is too different, we can turn away, simply because it's too much for our mind and our energy body. But what he is doing is he is simply bringing through memory data that is so ancient. There is no other way for this gentleman but to express this at this time. So let's just see. I'm going to pause that there, and we're actually going to go to the final clip to just see. Yeah, there we go. So this final clip is from 10 years ago, and it tells us that he's a plant, meaning that he's been brought here. He's been brought here to allow for discovery, whereby many people will understand what he is sharing and the subjects or topics that he touches upon. That seem to be far-fetched. And the makeup of his body has been very specifically designed that he comes in at this time. It's almost a bit of an awakening. And those who follow this gentleman, you most likely already know in your bodies and share very similar energies with him, because he will be attracting a very particular group of energies. And he will also be able to break through certain groups that have been waiting for this kind of information. Some of you may have been waiting all your lives for someone to speak about that which he is speaking about. So this very early clip tells us that he has simply been planted here. And the word is, and I did see it on the screen very briefly, but there is a disclosure that comes from him. But it is all to do with what we found. Thank you so much. What we found in his very first clip and what he is here to do. But the main message, despite all of the information that he holds is that this gentleman is running out of time. I'm going to close that down now. Beautiful souls, thank you to those who have been requesting this gentleman who I'm unfamiliar with, but that was certainly interesting energy. That was an interesting feel to go into, not something that I could compare with. So thank you for your suggestion, your request, and as always, share with me in the comments section anything that you know about him and anything else you want to add. I'll see you there. Until the next one, beautiful souls. Love and blessings.